There's a major shakeup happening, and it could land one of the NFL's most feared cornerbacks in the heart of Las Vegas. Jaylen Ramsey, Raiders, West Coast. Is this just another offseason rumor, or is something real brewing in the desert? Stick with me, because what you're about to hear could change everything for the silver and black. Before we dive into this latest buzz around the Raiders, take one quick second. If you're a true member of Raider Nation, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a single update. Let's jump into the latest. Here's the situation. According to NFL insider Adam Schefter, Jaylen Ramsey wants to play on the West Coast, and yes, Las Vegas is squarely in that mix. The Miami Dolphins have reportedly made it clear they're shopping Ramsey. Schefter believes a trade is not just likely, it's expected before training camp. Now, let's talk Raiders. This isn't the first time Ramsey's name has floated around Allegiant Stadium. In fact, Max Crosby has backed the idea in the past. Every offseason, Ramsey seems to orbit the Raiders, and this year, the connection feels stronger than ever. So, let me ask you, should the Raiders make the move? Drop your answer in the comments using our Raiders rumor meter. 0. Just win babies. No shot. It happens. 4. Just win babies. All in, it's happening. I'll reveal where I stand in just a second. But for now, Raider Nation, the question is simple. Do you want Jaylen Ramsey in silver and black? Now, I know what many of you are hoping for. Jaylen Ramsey in a Raiders uniform. But let's be real here. As much as it might excite fans, the odds of this move happening, slim to none. If I had to rank it, it's a solid 0. Just win babies. Full-on tuck rule, tuck that. Here's why. It's not about talent. Ramsey is elite, no doubt. But the Raiders have multiple bigger priorities, especially in the secondary. They need help at free safety, and there are still questions around the nickel corner spot. Throwing $21 million toward Ramsey? That's a massive cap hit. With that kind of money, the front office might be thinking more about building depth across the defense, not placing a single bet on one expensive star. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Las Vegas values its future draft picks, probably more than most franchises right now. They're building, not gambling away tomorrow. They've already made moves. They drafted Decamarion, Ja'Cory Bennett, added Eric Stokes, and there's still internal belief that both can take a leap forward. Add third-round pick DJ Turner, and it's clear they're investing in developing young talent, not making splashy headlines. Would I be shocked if the Raiders did pull the trigger? Maybe. But then again, I once said I'd be shocked if they landed Davante Adams. And look how that turned out. For now, though, don't count on seeing Ramsey in silver and black. Let's talk long-term, because the Raiders aren't just thinking about 2024. They've got their eyes on 2026, 2027, and beyond. On the surface, trading for Jaylen Ramsey might sound like a win-now move. But the reality? It's a heavy price tag. Not just this season, but potentially in the years to come. Sure, his current contract shows 0 guaranteed money beyond 2025. But, let's be honest, Ramsey's team will likely push for some guaranteed dollars in any trade deal. That's where the hesitation sets in. Do the Raiders really want to commit serious cap space to a veteran who, while still solid, isn't the same player he once was? No one's denying Ramsey can still contribute. He's probably still a top 15 cornerback in the league. But he's not at his peak, and you can see it. Just like fans saw a slight dip in Davante Adams' explosiveness last year, the same whispers are starting to follow Ramsey. The Raiders know this. They're building smart. They're investing through the draft, developing talent like Ja'Cory Bennett and Eric Stokes, and focusing on depth and flexibility instead of tying themselves to big contracts with aging stars. If Las Vegas was going to make this trade, it would have to be a perfect deal, a 10 out of 10. And frankly, this doesn't look like that kind of move for this front office. That doesn't mean another team won't make the call. But as of now, don't expect the silver and black to be the ones pulling the trigger on Ramsey. Let's be honest, if you're watching Raiders updates in the middle of June, you're one of the real ones. This is the quietest part of the offseason, yet here you are, locked in, hungry for silver and black news. That's exactly the kind of energy this team needs from its fan base. Now, let's shift gears, Because while Jaylen Ramsey might not be wearing the Raiders' shield anytime soon, his next destination could still affect Las Vegas in a major way. Here's why. There are multiple AFC teams in the mix for Ramsey, and at least one of them is a serious playoff threat, not just to the conference, but to the Raiders specifically. If Ramsey ends up strengthening a rival secondary, especially one in the same playoff hunt, the ripple effect could be significant. Let's say he lands on a team like the Chargers or even the Jets. Suddenly, you're looking at a conference with even more elite coverage units, making it harder for the Raiders' passing attack to gain ground. It's not always about who you get, it's about who your rivals pick up. So, while the Raiders might not pull the trigger on Ramsey themselves, his next move is worth watching closely. Because sometimes, the biggest threat to your season isn't who lines up next to you, it's who lines up against you. Let's break this down piece by piece, because while some of the reasons might feel small on the surface, the last one is a game changer. First off, the Raiders don't face the Dolphins this season, so if Ramsey stays put in Miami, Las Vegas avoids one of the league's most physical corners altogether. That's a win in itself. But here's where it gets interesting. If Ramsey is moved, especially to a contender in the AFC, things start to shift. The conference is already a gauntlet. Teams like the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, and Ravens are playoff regulars. And you can throw at least 5 more names into the mix for a wild card spot. Now, imagine one of those teams, maybe the Jets, maybe even the Broncos, adds Ramsey to an already dangerous defense. Suddenly, the road to the playoffs gets even tighter for Las Vegas. And that's why this storyline matters. Not because the Raiders are trying to land Ramsey, but because where he goes could directly affect their playoff chances. It's about the chessboard shifting in real time. Bottom line, the Raiders may not be in this deal, but they'll definitely feel the ripple effect if Ramsey joins an AFC rival. In this league, every roster move echoes, especially when it's a Pro Bowl talent heading to enemy territory. Let's get to the part that really matters. Which teams could actually land Jaylen Ramsey? And how would that affect the Raiders? Starting from the bottom, number 5, San Francisco 49ers. They've got the cap space, a championship roster, and a West Coast location. While they're not in the AFC, any contender adding Ramsey shifts the balance of power, even if it's outside the Raiders' direct path. Number 4, Washington Commanders. Not exactly West Coast, but in the NFC, and they've shown interest. The only reason this matters to the Raiders is if the Dolphins are trying to move him out of the AFC altogether. Still, minimal direct impact on Vegas. 3, Dallas Cowboys. Yes, they're in the NFC, but they've got cash and playoff ambitions. If they're desperate for help at corner, especially with uncertainty around Trevon Diggs, Ramsey could be a splash move. Again, not a major Raiders threat, but worth tracking. Number 2, Los Angeles Chargers. Now this is the one that should make every Raiders fan sit up. Ramsey in powder blue would mean the silver and black have to face him twice a year. It would instantly boost the Chargers' secondary and make the AFC West even tougher. The last thing the Raiders need is another elite corner in their own division. Number 1, Los Angeles Rams. A reunion makes sense. Ramsey's been there, McVay wants him back, and the team has shown they're willing to take calculated risks. It's a West Coast fit, and it keeps him out of the Raiders' path for now. So, what's the verdict? Ramsey wants the West, but based on everything we're hearing from Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler, the Raiders aren't in play. The front office isn't willing to spend big on a veteran corner when they're focused on building through the draft. Still, Raider Nation should keep one eye open, especially if the Chargers make the move. That's the scenario that impacts Las Vegas the most. Let's just hope, if a trade goes down, it's not within the division.